I'll resend it
Oh,
to you.
right.
Sure. No.
Oh, it would be helpful.
Welcome back to the Senate Committee on Government Operations meeting of Thursday, April 10th. And our final item for consideration today is miscellaneous, or no, the technical corrections bill.
My favorite.
Yeah. And
And then
we've got Ben with us, and this will be Allison Clarkson production, so there'll be reference made to what do you call those things?
haikus and limericks.
I knew it would be.
Somehow removed.
Okay. So Ben, welcome in,
And Ben's gonna write one
and
too.
we're gonna have a walkthrough of the bill in condensed form.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go through the first few pages, give you a flavor of it.
Sure.
I'm prepared to tell you what I won't say my favorite part, but definitely the most notable part of the bill
We
for
need
me.
the favorite part.
And happy to answer any questions you
Okay.
have.
Do we just, often in the past, we have a section by section, which is easier for us to go through than the whole huge mega bill.
Okay, I don't have that prepared.
Okay, but if you'd be kind enough to.
Sure,
That
And you'll
helps.
have at least a week.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's helpful for a bunch of reasons.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. So, and for the record, Ben Novogrosky from the Office of Legislative Counsel. Do you want me to share my screen and kind of give you
Sure.
a flavor or just kind of go through it?
No, that's fine. Either way.
Great, so just bear with me and I'll log on.
This is 463.
Correct.
Oh, it has a number, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, this is the.
101 pages, but down from the 420 from last year.
Yes, last year was an all-time record. I
Yes.
think that's the biggest one I've ever reported.
That's my understanding as well.
And how many sections of 101 pages?
There are,
Ben has also got an amendment, believe it or not.
I do, a technical correction to the technical correction. bill.
That would be a good line for you.
Yes.
There are 58 sections to this
Thank
bill.
you.
So just bear with me, I'm still,
That is, I love it. And who found it?
Ben did.
which
The
portion?
technical correction to the technical.
Actually, Representative Hooper did.
Oh,
As he was about to walk through it, he came up to me like, what if I have technical correction to the technical corrections bill?
That is so funny.
And here we are.
Which Hooper, Jay or the?
that's a first on our side.
The one from Berlin.
Oh, Bob did. Yes, it did.
And Ben has emailed all of us the instance of amendment.
Mhm.
Right. Oh, he has? Okay.
Yeah, and it's just one word that needs to be inserted, and I'll highlight, it's actually on page 5 of the bill. So,
Okay, there are 2 Hooper reps.
Jay and Bob.
Yeah.
Section 1.
Oh, wonderful. Melissa, it was just.
I was
Did you get the
as quickly as I could.
for the charter?
I'll go grab it.
Yeah.
Right, so I have this.
Yep. I'm always. I'm sorry. Oh, look at that.
yeah, look at that.
There's 101 pages.
So before the committee, H 463, an act relating to technical correction for the 2025 legislative session. There are dozens of sections of the bill, but I'll go through the first few pages. Starting in section 1, which amends Title 3. And the way I kind of formatted this is that if there are many corrections to a chapter or subchapter, I've kept those in the same section of the bill. And then where we bounce around, you'll kind of get a sense for it. So section 1 amends Title 3, section 2, which just repeals 2 defunct entities. Section 2, you'll see that it eliminates gendered language and updates archaic language to conform with our VSA style. And you'll see that kind of going through. And if you want, I can cite the specific lines and pages to direct your attention. Section 3 just makes changes to conform to VSA style. You'll see this later on, but we don't have rules in Vermont. We don't have regulations, we adopt rules. So there is a distinction there. Section 4 changes the placement of conjunctions to clarify and conform to VSA style after cross-reference corrections to eliminate defunct references.
Oh, eliminating defunct references, that's one of my favorites.
That's definitely going in your IQ, isn't it?
Well, you got it here. Section 5 just conforms to VSA style by eliminating archaic language. For instance, we're removing therein and just saying, since this regards to a license application, made in the license application. Section 6, scrolling down page 4, amends Title 3, Section 159. And that creates subsections A and B, and eliminates gendered language and updates archaic language to match our VSA style. And you'll see Section 7. This makes various amendments to Chapter 9 of Title 3, and this actually is where the instance of amendment comes into play. So you'll see various amendments amended here, or various statutes amended here. Section 203 just updates archaic language and capitalization to conform with our style. Section 205, again, updates archaic language and eliminates gender pronouns to conform with our style. Section 206, this is where the instance of amendment comes in. So you'll see on line 16 here, that books, documents, and property pertaining the administration of the department. So now what the instance of amendment does is that it adds to the, so
I thought that you said there are only 58 sections, and so what is section 206?
This is within.
No, but
this is within
Oh, this.
a section. So this is like, to give an example, since this is amending a bunch of statutes within a chapter, I've just kept it all under one section.
You needed to add 2.
Yeah, something that slipped through my eyes, the editor's eyes, but not Representative Bob Hooper.
Bob Hooper,
Yeah,
Mr. Detail.
Mr. Detail.
Interesting.
So, and again, you'll see, you know, unless there are any questions about the amendment itself, in section 207, updates archaic language, eliminates gender pronouns, it eliminates regulation because we don't have them, and changes the location of conjunctions to conform to our VSA style. Moving on to section 209, you'll see here in the title, updating regulations to rules, it updates archaic language, it eliminates gendered pronouns. And again, as I mentioned, the change from regulations to rules. Section 213 just updates archaic language to conform with our style. So rather than assure, it is ensure, proper executive supervision by the governor. Section 8. This amends 3 VSA 263 by eliminating gendered pronouns, making some grammatical changes and updating archaic language to conform to our style. Section 9 amends 3 VSA chapter 13. So again, this is a section that involves multiple statutes that are amended. Or not multiple, but in this case, only one because it's what's appropriate. But it adds conjunctions to a conjunctionless list for clarity.
Conjunction.
And to conform with our style. Section 310, again, updates regulations to rules. We don't prescribe rules, we adopt rules. And so you'll see that those changes throughout. Section 311 is updated. Again, archaic language and also references to legislature are now references to the General Assembly. Section 3.
May I just pause it?
Yeah.
Given that we now do that all the way through statute, what's the thinking of that? What is the problem with legislature?
Well, my understanding is that the formal name of our legislature is the General
It's the
Assembly.
General Assembly, so that really we should have always been referring to it as the General Assembly.
Yeah.
And yet in this state, we do not call ourselves assembly people, unlike New York, where they call themselves assembly people.
Yes.
Or as we learned yesterday in Virginia, it's delegates.
Right.
Well, Virginia is also a commonwealth.
That's
not-
true.
Right.
House of Burgesses, right?
Yeah.
It's however not like in the UK where they have the House of Lords, which is bizarre.
And ladies.
Okay.
So yeah, but good question. Section 312 of that chapter, again, updating archaic language, assure to ensure. and adding some grammatical changes to make it conform with our style. Section 315, updating, striking regulations, updating archaic language to conform to our style. Section 316, again, updating regulations to rules. Section 330, updating archaic language. We don't say wherein anymore, we just say where. And then again, you'll see insure to insure with an E. And then subdivision or subsection C, we're adding some reader assistance headings, or rather moving them up to the proper location to match our style. And again, updating archaic language as well. We did that again in subsection D and subsection E of that statute, again in subsection F.
So we have three forms of insure, usher, and insure.
Well, now it's just insure with an E. So we're
So
updating
we
all
don't
of
use
them.
okay.
Not to be confused with the supplement drink.
Exactly.
I know, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Although we could pass that out, although Blue would have already. done.
Oh, my God.
Maybe you could have a prop during your.
I could, you cross it.
His birthday is coming up.
It's on the 13th. Maybe. Oh my God. On Tuesday, we may just have Tuesday. Because his birthday is Monday. No, his birthday is Sunday.
So let's,
Please continue.
yeah, sorry. So you'll see those reader assistance headings are being moved up to their proper location. And again, on page 15, we don't do and or, it's just and expenses. And that's appropriate for this context. And then again, subject 8 here, updating archaic language to match our style. Do you want me to continue? Because this is kind of a
That's
good,
part of what we get for the whole
yeah,
101 pages.
yes.
I like hearing you say archaic style though, so.
Were there any examples of the difference between fewer and,
Lesser.
And
no,
not, and
not more?
not more than there was. And actually that was another correction that was caught by, who was it in the house?
And Donahue.
No, it was, I think, it was a representative. You know,
Gov.
Kate from Burlington.
No, Logan.
Logan?
No,
Laurie?
Kate, who was here yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah, we know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm sorry.
Not
Nugent.
Kate Valley, there's-
Nugent.
Nugent, yes, it was Representative Nugent caught it. And
Ted's
so
sister.
that, so that was updated, again, another technical correction to the bill.
So
That would be full.
Yes, Senator Clarkson.
may I ask, what's the difference between archaic style and archaic language? Archaic language is language we don't use anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I may have misspoken a little bit where there is
Please.
archaic language to conform with our style. Is sort of probably what I should be saying if I stumble over those words.
No, it's,
Well, I would imagine the difference between archaic language would be the actual words used versus archaic style being the sentence structure
yeah, no, I would think that too.
Yes,
versus henceforth.
wherefore henceforth wit.
Forthwith.
Well,
Yeah,
but
Yes, that is archaic language.
I like that one though.
there is absolutely a time and place.
I love it.
would say.
I do have just one kind
Yeah.
of general question, which, one of my main reasons that I like that we do these bills is because we are updating the gender language piece. So I'm wondering if you know how many instances are in the bill of correction on that? Because it seems like there's kind of 3 buckets of things that are changed.
I would say that is a large portion.
And it has been for now quite a while.
Yeah, it's sort of something that our office always does, like, we try to do it in these technical corrections bill, but any bill that we draft, if there's our, gendered language in there, we try to make it gender neutral.
I think that that's probably the most, if you're wondering why you would support a bill like this, like that's, like, why do we do them at all? It does matter because the issue could be when you have his or her governor, that is a
Right.
different thing and people use different pronouns. So
It does make it a little cumbersome in some sentences, but it's
you find a way.
to your point, yes.
But you can to go to the number, you can probably ask your machine to your AI to come up with how many instances of gendered pronouns are updated.
Yeah, I could probably find.
And if not, Delia can help.
Doesn't it?
The other primary change that I think is really critically important in the technical corrections bill is moving away from legalese and
Yeah.
moving to plain language that people can
I love
actually
that.
understand. Like, I think that it creates an accessibility to government when people who don't have a law degree can read the law and know what it means.
I completely agree. If you could stress this in your bill report.
I have actually almost often, because it is one of my favorite pieces about it too. Yet another instance of the Vyhovsky arson symbiosis.
But I guess I think, were you asking earlier, do we need to go through all 101 pages? I feel comfortable if the bulk of those changes fall within either of those categories.
It's pretty much what it is.
Although I do know last year we discovered things that we had to pull out of the bill because we actually determined upon closer review that they were not technical corrections and in fact were
Well,
substantive.
we can keep going.
So,
I don't want to go through all 101.
I don't, but I think that's where the section by section is helpful, because you can look, that's where we actually found it, because we often don't go through the entire page by page, or we go through section by section and look at what that, the summary of what the change is, and that would, that's how it goes on type. That would tell you if it's substantive or not.
Okay. Yes, well, and I'll get that for you by the next time that the bill's taken up. Now to what I view as the most noteworthy change.
Yes, tell us,
Um,
and your favorite.
Well, I guess this is sort of my favorite in the sense that it's the most noteworthy and we're fixing something that has been considered offensive. So you'll see in various portions. So for instance, on page 97, we're changing, and this is something that is within sort of the fiscal realm. It was caught by our colleagues at JFO. So rather than referring to the comprehensive annual financial report that is provided, it is now the annual comprehensive financial report. And the reason why is because the acronym
Oh,
is an offensive term in South Africa,
Yes, it is.
and I don't want to speak to it more.
Who knew? They did.
They,
Trevor Noah does.
yes, Trevor.
He
Noah
talks
does.
about it in his stand-up.
And this is apparently something that, because this is a pretty ubiquitous term in multiple states, that apparently there's an effort to change this.
Great.
so it went from comprehensive,
Annual financial report.
to
Annual.
annual comprehensive financial.
It makes more grammatical sense too.
There you go.
annual
But if you'd like to learn
comprehensive.
more, I can point you to a Trevor Noah skit.
Yeah, I just don't want to go on the record to try to
I
explain it.
don't blame you.
But I wanted to highlight it as a noteworthy, and I guess you could classify it as my favorite since it's
Doing good.
And it's considered a South African swear.
It's an offensive word in South Africa. It had the equivalent in the United States would be the N-word.
Yes, oh, yes, right. I remember.
I hope that doesn't get in your report.
It may be referred to.
Okay.
It's all
I'll trust your judgment on
I'm.
how best to present.
You may,
yeah.
I don't think.
Oh. I'll stand up and say, point of order, Mr. President.
And as far as the bill itself, it goes into effect on passage.
And this is also a lily that also has to change the name, because it's also, there is a beautiful, beautiful lily that also has.
Oh,
this
it's a
as its nickname.
Oh, okay. Well,
There are a few plants out there that should really change their names. Tradescantia has a
thanks, Bill.
colloquial name that is really unacceptable.
So at least that's to the bottom.
Yeah, natural resources.
Yeah, there you go.
So do committee members feel we need any further testimony from anybody on this? But in order to give Ben some time, what's today, Thursday? Let's vote it out next Tuesday, which means it'll be on notice Wednesday, which means floor report will be Thursday. So as I said, you'll have a week.
There you go.
Did you tell us to vote out of committee and on the floor?
It was unanimous out of committee, and then it was by voice vote.
Which one is that?
What was the vote count on it?
Oh.
11.
HGO was unanimous, 11-0.
Yeah.
And voice vote with parent.
Yeah, I don't recall any.
I can't
You didn't
imagine.
hear any loan? No.
No,
So who was the reporter?
it was Representative Hooper.
Oh, for his sins, Bob had to do this. That is good.
He probably has the section by sections.
Well, the way he did it is that I think he kind of did a similar walkthrough to me. I mean, actually, they made me go through the bill in the house. And then, he took copious notes. I mean, I saw him going through it and he kind of gave a flavor of the bill like I just did now, and then basically asked, do you want me to go through? And I was like, no. So it was just a portion that it was
So, yes, that's the minute when if somebody said yes on the floor, that half the floor would get up and leave. 3 times certain people, members of the General Assembly, stood up to speak. That often happened also.
And so, yeah, for whenever this is scheduled for a vote, just remember there's also that instance of amendment to be voted on as well.
Oh, okay, but you mailed that to us, so we
Yeah.
can put it in the
Why can't we
calendar.
just put it in and have a strike?
If you want to.
Or just,
I could do it that way. And the reason why I did an instance is because it was one single
yes,
word,
it's
but,
one word, okay, let's
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah, let's, yeah,
but it's at the committee's prerogative.
I don't know why it would need to be a strike on it.
No, I'm just.
So, of course, we can make history because we've got a technical correction to a technical correction and a strike on bill. And people are gonna,
Well, did we-
You're just trying to give the house some palpitations. Yeah.
That does. I am intrigued.
oh no, really? wouldn't do
It's just,
All right,
it's an
So,
opportunity.
you can get it in the calendar and just have it there.
Yeah, we'll just get
This
this.
is the nerdiest conversation.
There is nothing like a technical corrections bill that makes me realize how weird we all are. And most people don't care about this stuff, Allison.
No, it's true, but they should, because often it's in the details and they count.
There are also some changes to capitalization, which Representative Hooper referred to as decapitation of certain words. So, you could say you had a little fun with it too.
Sir, he brought the guillotine to this bill.
Symbolically.
Thank you for your patience. I know that this is your third appearance. I didn't try to get through this, but
Yeah, 3 times a charm, right?
Yeah.
He's still smiling
Yeah.
he's a good guy.
and looks happy,
I'm so
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, my pleasure.
right?
Anything else for us today, gang? We have 3 bills tomorrow.
And tomorrow we are addressing Gazucha.
We have the, just a quick
Send you that.
couple more on the election law changes. We have a couple people coming in on that.
Oh, I need to follow through with Tucker on that, on the thing I emailed you about, the
Yeah.
alphabetization.
Yeah,
That
please.
Becca and I want to.
Yeah, okay. And I do too. I think that's, and then we've got, 397, we've got 2 people coming in now. Ben Green canceled the dam safety program.
Oh.
But we also have, I know.
I love dams.
I was gonna say that.
I'm just sort of a.
Anyway, we got Josh Hanford coming in and somebody else coming in. And then we're gonna look at the charter of the town of Morristown.
Well, that's not exciting. Is Shaft Smith coming to?
I
Sure.
don't believe so. We're just gonna have Tucker walk us through it. Anything else for the committee? Okay,